Hello students, good morning all of you and welcome back to my class. Students, in the previous class we discussed the MCQs on anatomy. In this class also I want to discuss some important questions on the same chapter, from the same chapter, because this chapter is very important and some 4 to 5 questions generally comes from this chapter. So I think I have not completely, I am not satisfied by giving those 20 questions, 25 questions. So I again want to discuss some important questions with you. So, and as you all know that much time has been passed, and that means 4.5 months we have passed. So now the time has come to focus on preparatory the schedule. So from this time you have to make a smart and a pragmatic study schedule for that, so that if it increases the chances of getting the seat in the NEET. So for this the maximum chance is to, when you start solving more and more number of questions, then it will increase, normally it will increase your confidence level, and by setting the time also, because time management is time management, you should know that how much time one question should be solved, and every subject have different things, a different approach you have to, that also you have to know. So now start focusing on your preparation, and I hope you will do it. So let's see some important questions, today's important questions, students. So first question which is on your screen is, the common bottle cork is a product of, common bottle cork, that is a dead, actually it is a dead cell, dead part, and the bottle cork is generally, commercial cork is obtained from Quercus suber. A Quercus suber is a technical name, or I can say it is a scientific name of oak tree. So the bottle cork is obtained from the oak tree. Let's write the name first, Quercus suber, Quercus suber, and from this we can get commercial cork. So the question here is, the common bottle cork is product of which part? So that is a product of phellogen. And what is phellogen? It is cork cambium, which is generally formed at the time of secondary growth. So two types of cambium is formed. One is vascular cambium and another one is cork cambium. And by the activity of cork cambium, the cork cambium divides periclinally and it forms outside phellum and inside phellodum. And the phellogen part which is there, that is called bottle cork. So answer here is 2. Now the second question, the sugar cane plant has, sugar cane. So sugar cane is a monocot, and we all know that wheat, rice, wheat, the technical name, scientific name is Triticum vulgare, white, Oryza sativa, sugar cane. These plants are maize, these plants are monocot. And in monocot, which type pentamerous flowers are the characteristic feature of dicot? If you see the B option, this is not correct, because pentamerous flowers we can observe in dicot. And reticulate venation. Reticulate venation is also seen in dorsiventral leaf, in dicot leaf. So it is also a characteristic feature of dicot. And capsular fruits, this is also not seen in sugarcane. So this is also not correct. So B, C, D options are not correct. So you should know why these options are not correct. That means we are solving, we are going to know 4 questions in one question. And dumbbell shaped guard cells, of course, in monocot plant, guard cells, stomata aperture is having dumbbell shaped guard cell. Whereas in dicot plant, this is stomatal aperture and these are guard cell in dicots. So these are kidney shaped in dicots, and in monocot, from which the sugarcane plant belongs, the stomata is like this, in this shape. So this is dumbbell like. So dumbbell shaped stomatas are present in monocot plants. So answer here is dumbbell shaped guard cells. So stomatal aperture, and these are guard cells. Now, reduction in vascular tissues, mechanical tissues and cuticle is characteristic of. Vascular tissues are xylem and phloem, because xylem conducts water and phloem conducts food. Mechanical tissue, a living mechanical tissue is collenchyma, and a dead mechanical tissue is sclerenchyma. And cuticle, what is cuticle? It is the upper layer which of epidermis, which is made up of cutin. So this is cuticle. So these three are not present or reduction, or sometimes not present or reduced. That means these are not in xerophytes. Cuticle is present and multilayer epidermis also visible, and these vascular tissues are very much developed. Mesophytes, land plants also it is seen, and in epiphytes they are dependent. Of course, some of these are there and some are not. Only in hydrophytes. So why in hydrophytes? Because they live in, hydro means water, phyte means plants. The plants which live in water, already they are living in water, so xylem is not well developed, not much developed. They are taking water from all the parts of the body. And similarly in hydrophytes, cuticle is not there, absent. If present, a very thin layer of cuticle is present. So this is the, and mechanical tissues, so that means which gives flexibility or harden. Sclerenchyma if present, it gives hardness because of presence of lignin. So that the type of condition we cannot see in only hydrophytes. So reduction in vascular tissues, that is not, and mechanical tissue is the characteristic feature of hydrophytes. I hope you understood. Now, heartwood differs from sapwood. In wood part, in the after secondary growth, primarily the stem is very thin, and but when secondary growth start taking place, what happens? Every year, two rings are formed. Two times rings are formed. Annual rings, which is known as annual rings, and heartwood and sapwood is found. Heartwood is dark in color and it is present in the central portion. Slowly, when the girth is increasing, girth means the diameter of the stem is increasing. When secondary growth is taking place, after some years, the wood part is increasing, and the heartwood which is present in the center, it is dark in color, and xylem is, due to xylem parenchyma, a balloon-like structure which is known as tyloses are formed in the tracheids and vessels part of heartwood. So it stops conducting water and other substances, minerals. What is the function of xylem? It conducts water, minerals which is taken from the root. So it stops, and heartwood is darker. It helps, protects from termites and other insects. And sapwood is lighter in color, but it helps in conduction. So that what is the heartwood different from sapwood? Having dead and non-conducting elements, because it is dead, darker in color, and it do not stop conducting. Absence of vessels and parenchyma, it is not correct, because seen in vessels are there, but parenchymatous outgrowth is present. Presence of ray fibers, and it is also not valid difference between sapwood and heartwood. Being susceptible to pest and pathogen. Of course, it helps in, supports it or gives security, but this is not the correct answer. The answer is having dead and non-conducting elements. Now, the fourth. In the sieve elements, which one of the following is the most likely function of pea protein? Sieve elements. Where do we find sieve elements? Sieve cells and sieve tubes. These are present in phloem. And what is the function of phloem? These sieve cells and sieve tubes helps in conduction of food. the food which is synthesized in the leaf, the mesophiles of leaf, this is conducted to the other parts of the plant with the help of this phloem, sieve tubes and sieve cells. But what happens here, the sieve tube or sieve tube part, sieve cells we generally observe in gymnosperms and pteridophyta. Sieve tubes are seen in angiosperms. These sieve tubes are lacking nucleus. If the cell is not having nucleus, ribosomes and vacuoles, the other activity it cannot perform. But the sieve tubes, suppose this is the sieve tube part. So it is not having nucleus and it is having a companion cell, because the companion cell and the sieve tube, this is sieve tube, I write ST for sieve tube, and this is companion cells, This companion cell and sieve tube cell originate from the same mother cell. They come from the same mother. The difference here is it is not having nucleus, but it is having nucleus and other things. So the work, the activity of sieve tubes takes place with the help of these companion cells. So here the question is, in the sieve element, which one of the following is the most likely function of P proteins? So P proteins, which is present in sieve companion cell, they are helpful in the translocation. They provide energy for active translocation, as it is not active because enucleate structure, no nucleus is there. Other things also, other cell organelles also, like ribosome vacuoles. So it is the P protein, which is the protein which is present there. It helps in activating in translocation, which is the main function of phloem. So answer here is translocation, providing energy for active translocation. Deposition of callus on sieve plates, this is not actually the proper reason. And autolytic enzymes, why do we autolytic enzymes helpful? It is also not. And sealing mechanism, this is also not correct regarding this P protein, because the function of phloem is translocating, transferring, conducting. In land plants, the guard cells differ from other epidermal cells in having. Yes, this is very good question. Very good question, very important question. Actually, all these 20 or 25 questions were asked in AIIMS. Every year some questions are asked. From AIIMS question bank, I have taken these questions. So these questions are very, very important. Sometimes it looks very simple, but not so simple if you do not understand the concept. So go for the if you understand the concept, the questions will be easy for you. And in land plants, the guard cells differ from other epidermal cells in having. What is epidermal cell? Epidermal cells are the outermost cell. In the leaf, if we see, because dicot leaves, upper epidermis and lower epidermis is present. This is lower epidermis. Both the epidermis is covered with cuticle in dicot. Similarly, in monocot also, both the tooth side epidermis is present, and in dicot, the stomatas are confined to lower epidermis. More number, we should not say confined, more number of stomatas are present in lower epidermis. And but in monocot, both same number of stomatas are present in monocot. Both the epidermis having same number of stomata. And here question is, in land plants, that means in mesophytes, the guard cells differ from other epidermal cells. So this stomata is present in the epidermal layer. Of course, if here is also stomata, so this stomata is present in the epidermal layer. And how the stomatal aperture is protected by two guard cells. If it is monocot, it is dumbbell shaped. If it is monocot, if it is dicot, it is kidney shaped. So how these guard cells are different from the adjacent epidermal cells, that is the point, because epidermal cells it is not having chloroplast. Chlorophyll is not present. It is not green in color. The epidermis is only meant for protection. So it is epidermal layer is barrel shaped or rectangular cells with compactly arranged, not having intercellular spaces. These are some characteristic features. But guard cells, which are protecting the stomatal aperture, these guard cells are having chlorophyll. The only thing, the only part is the guard cells which is having chloroplast in epidermal cells. So that is the point here. So answer is chloroplast, not mitochondria at endoplasmic reticulum or cytoskeleton. So only chloroplast, which is not observed in the epidermal cells, and it differentiates it from the other epidermal cells. Grafting is successful in dicot, but not in monocot, because the dicots have grafting. When we cut the, suppose we are cutting the stem for grafting and want to plant it somewhere else. But it is not possible in monocot. Why it is not possible? Because in monocot stems, monocots and leaves, secondary growth do not take place. Why? Because secondary growth takes place by the activity of cambium ring. And cambium is present in dicots. Dicots, that means it is angiosperm. And the gymnosperms also we can observe secondary growth. Dicot plant, if you cut the plant, that will again grow, because the cambium ring is having meristematic cells, and these meristematic cells undergo the meristematic cells. We know these are juvenile cells, these are newborn cell. They always undergo division and form new cells. So grafting is possible with the meristematic cells present. So cambium for secondary growth. So this is the answer. Cambium ring should be there, because cambium ring is having meristematic tissue, and when meristematic tissue is there, it can undergo division and it gives many number of cells, and that the growth takes place. Growth in plant takes place. So this is the B is the answer. And if we see vascular bundles arranged in a ring, U-stele dicot, if of course the vascular bundles are arranged in a ring which is known as U-stele, and scattered vascular bundles are seen monocot stem. But grafting is not affected by the arrangement of vascular bundle. Vessels with elements arranged. Vessels means xylem part. This is also not affected. And cork cambium, only vascular cambium. Cork cambium, it forms the outer epidermal layer, the bark layer. So it is also not the correct answer. The correct answer is only B. Now let's see. Glycolate induces opening of stomata. First of all, what is glycolate? This term is new for you. It is an acid, acetic acid. Induce opening of stomata. Stomata is opening. How it is opening? Because less concentration of carbon dioxide. But when photosynthesis is taking place in the plant, what happens at that time? Stomata is also opening for the exchange of gases. So when it is opening, the concentration of carbon dioxide is lowering, and the increase of potassium. Potassium is going inside. So potassium is going inside, and carbon dioxide is reduction of carbon dioxide is taking place. So answer is low concentration of CO2. Vascular tissues in flowering plants develop from vascular tissues. Let's see this. A very good question here. Vascular tissues, pleurome, periblim, dermatogen. All these words are, I think, new for you, because it is not there in your syllabus at present. But you should know sometimes this type of question, because previously it was given in the syllabus. It was in previous syllabus. But we should know, because the part of what is the pleurome, what is periblim, and what is dermatogen. Of course, the answer is pleurome. Why it is pleurome, I will explain you. First of all, let's see what is dermatogen. Dermal. When we say dermatogen, dermal means it is the outer protective part. So epidermis is considered as the dermatogen layer, number 1 point. And second, periblim. Below the epidermis, the part, the region which is present, that is called, either in stems it is hypodermis, or in roots we have seen cortex. So the below the epidermal part is known as periblim. Periblim means that is cortex. This is cortex layer. And this is epidermis. Now let's see the question again. Vascular tissues. Vascular tissues means xylem and phloem, either in root or in stems. It is xylem and phloem. So that is present in the stellar region. And where is the stele? Stele is present below the endodermis. Pericycle is present. And next comes to stele. So the stellar part, not only the stellar part. Stellar means pericycle is also included in that. Remember, student, not only the structure of xylem and phloem. So when I say stellar region or stele part, that means pericycle part is also included there. So pericycle, pith, let's write it, pericycle, pith, and vascular tissues, vascular bundles or vascular tissues, whatever we say. If it is in bundle, vascular bundle, or if separately arranged in dicot roots, monocot roots we have seen, then vascular tissues. So the answer, vascular tissues in flowering plants. In flowering plants, it is called pleurome. So pleurome means pericycle, pith which is the center part, and the vascular bundles. The whole stellar region is called pleurome. And what is phellogen? Of course, these three are present primarily in the plant body. But phellogen, it is formed at the time of secondary growth by the activity of lateral meristem. So this part is called phellogen. Phellogen means it forms the cork cambium. Cork cambium, when cut, it forms phellum and phellodum. So after secondary growth. So this is also not concerned. Pleurome means vascular bundle. So this is the second one is the answer. Now, which one of the following statements pertaining to plant structure is not correct? See, here it is written correct, but not correct. Actually, all the statements are correct. Only one statement is wrong. So let's see which one is the wrong. Cork lacks stomata. Cork means it is a dead cell and it is not having stomata. Gaseous exchange is going on that cork cambium or cork or in bark due to lenticels, and these lenticels means lens cells, lens-like cells. So these lenticels are some openings which help in the gaseous exchange when stem grows older at that after secondary growth. So this is not correct. For not correct means statement is true. We are asking for not correct wrong statement. Passage cell help in transfer of food from cortex to phloem. Passage cell. Passage cell, where we have seen passage cell in endodermis. Let's draw the diagram again. This is the endodermis part. This is endodermis, and endodermis is thickened with Casparian bands. These cells are thick with suberin, and the suberin is impervious. Casparian bands. See, these words are not new. Already I explained you in the class. In dicot stem, in monocot stem, roots also not in monocot stem. In roots I have explained. In dicot stem root, dicot root, monocot root. What is this Casparian I explained. But once again I am writing for your understanding. So these are Casparian bands, and the bands, these are made up of the chemical which is present here. It is suberin. And the suberin is impervious to water. So water cannot go outside and inside. It cannot come inside. So for the translocation of water, some cells are there which is known as passage cells. These passage cells are opposite to the protoxylem part in roots. So these are passage cells. Let's see. Passage cell help in transfer of food from a cortex of phloem. So they help in transport of water and other things. And sieve tube elements possesses cytoplasm but no nuclei. Tube elements having cytoplasm. Just now I explained you in the last question that sieve tube is not having nuclei. So this is also right statement. the shoot apical meristem has a quiescent center. Quiescent means inactive. The statement is complete wrong, but because shoot apical, the apical means the tip portion, the tip portion of shoot stem is having meristematic cells. They are always active. They always undergo division. So this statement is wrong. So this is the right answer because what is not correct. Next, the quiescent center in root meristematic serve as the quiescent center in root meristematic site for storage of food which is utilized during maturation and reservoir of growth hormones. The quiescent, that means inactive center. Inactive, that means no work is taking place. In root meristem, that means in root meristematic. Like stem, root is also having meristematic cells, so that root is going elongating, and so reserve for replenishment, that means again it filling something of damaged cells of the meristem. So reserve for, so quiescent center, that means inactive. They reserve for again filling. Replenishment means again filling something. So something is going on here and it is dividing and filling. So replenishment of damaged, the cells which have already ruptured or damaged for the of the meristem. So here C is the answer. This is also a good question. A common structural feature of vessel elements and a sieve tube element is common structural feature of vessel element. Vessel element means xylem and sieve tube means phloem. Is what is there? P protein or pores on lateral walls. Pores are present through which it translocates. Thick secondary walls or enucleate condition. See, this is very, very good question, students. Vessels, in vessels and in sieve tubes, both are having enucleate conditions, because in vessels also albuminous cells are present, and there in sieve tube also companion cells are present. So these things, these are in gymnosperm it is having companion cells, and in gymnosperm it is having albuminous cells, and in sieve tubes it is having companion cell. Both are enucleate, both are not having nucleus. In gymnosperms it is having albuminous cell. Albuminous cell is helping for sieve tubes, and sieve tubes in angiosperm it is having companion cells. Both are originating from the same mother cell. And vessels, it is also not having nucleus. So these are enucleate condition. So D is the right answer. Next, water containing cavities in vascular bundles are found in, of course, water containing. If we see the monocot stem, because see, sunflower is a dicot plant. So, and cycas, it is also a dicot. Pinus, it is a cycas, and cycas, it is gymnosperm, and pinus, it is gymnosperm. I will write here, gymnosperm, not dicot, sorry. Gymnosperm, and this one is also gymnosperm. This is right. And sunflower, this is dicot. And maize, Gia maize, the scientific name is, it is monocot plant. So in monocot, was talking about vascular bundle. So if we see the monocot vascular bundle, this is monocot, and it is having conjoint collateral. Conjoint because this part is phloem. I will draw like this. This part is phloem. So the upper portion is phloem and the lower portion is xylem. This is metaxylem. The bigger ones, the larger ones are metaxylem. The smaller one is called protoxylem. It is looking like a face of Joker. So it is smaller one is protoxylem, and here also another protoxylem is there. but this protoxylem ruptures and it forms a lacuna. Lacuna means lysagenous cavity. We can say lacuna or lysagenous cavity. And this lacuna, which is formed by the rupture of protoxylem, it stores water. So what is water containing cavity? So water and cambium is not present, so closed. So water containing cavity is present in maize. In which plant? In maize. So this is the answer. The annular and spiral thickening conducting elements generally develop in the protoxylem when the root or stem is widening. When the root or stem, annular, that time the thickenings of the protoxylem is developing. So here it is answer widening. Now, in barley stem, vascular bundles are, in barley, again barley stem is monocot, barley is a monocot, so closed and scattered type of vascular bundle. Stem, in barley stem, closed and scattered. A major characteristic of monocot root, the presence of the monocot root, if we see the vasculature without cambium. Cambium is not there in monocot root and dicot root, cambium is not present. So, or cambium sandwiched between, no, this is not correct. Scattered vascular bundle, monocot stem. Open vascular bundle we can observe in dicot stem. So, vasculature without cambium. C is the correct answer. Next. Which one gives the most valid and recent explanation for stomatal movements? Valid and recent explanation for stomatal movement is potassium influx and efflux. Potassium is going inside and the increase of potassium opens the stomata and decrease of potassium close the stomata. So I think we have discussed some 20-22 questions in this round. So I hope you have understood this and liked this round. So thank you very much, student, for listening it, and take care of yourself and practice more and more questions.